The moon dragon approaches Dumangan cautiously. Having tried making contact with many other dumangans, the moon dragon has learned dumangans are right to be overly cautious. For men use all manner of tricks to entrap a dumangan to dominate, forcing them to produce food so they may ascend to authority among other humans. The moon dragon has seen this pattern play out over and over again. It was not her place to intervene in the past, but now there are no other options.
Please don't run.
The dumangan stood frozen, caught between a disarmed and desperate tone. Several thoughts raced through his head, yet strangely, panic was not one of them this time. Here we go again with these people. How long until they concoct some cage? How long until they ask for help? Slowly, he turned, one hand resting on a nearby bamboo tree in case a quick escape was needed. But first, I must see who was able to get so close without me knowing. His eyes searched the darkness. Yet even here, in his own forest, among his own trees, he struggled to identify the source of the voice. Then a dark, slender woman stepped out into the moonlight. Instantly, panic flooded him. "I know your kind."
I'm not like them.
But her words fell short, unable to persuade. "What do you want from me? Your kind only comes for one thing, power. I have none." The words cut through the night air, sharp with determination. If a fight came, there would be no winners, only scars. She lowered herself slowly into a sitting position, palms out and down. She could sense his experience. He had fought dragons before. Perhaps he believed she came seeking riches from the earth beneath the forest, expecting him to make the trees surface precious stones. Lowering her gaze, she spoke softly.
Have you encountered giant men with sunken yellow eyes and a heart of ice? They devour everything from gluttonous greed. Those who resist are turned into more of them. They spread like a plague of rats, leaving nothing but desolation. Nothing grows for years in their wake.
Her voice cracked with the pain of loss. "What does this have to do with you being here?" His silence afterward told her enough. He knew more than he let on. "I call them wendigos. They once only ate human skin, leaving the rest for nature. But they changed. They began eating every kind of flesh. Now they strip the leaves from the trees while they bud, and the bark soon after. I want to stop them." She lifted her eyes to meet his. The loathing in her voice startled even herself. She paused, afraid she had scared him away. His discretion betrayed nothing, no fear, no sympathy, no willingness. Still, she pressed on. "I have a way." The words hung in the air. Their implications rang louder in the dumangan's thoughts than anything else he could remember. "Is it possible?" His eyes sharpened. For the first time, she thought she might finally have an ally. Relief stirred in her chest, relief she had not known since before everything. The weight of her grief loosened. She let herself breathe. The dumangan noticed. Fear rushed through him. In an instant, he vanished into the tree. Memories of betrayal seared his mind. Elaborate stories spun to enlist his aid. The friends lost to false alliances. This is just another ploy. "No! No! No! No!" The hope she had clawed back, hard-earned, fragile, shattered in an instant. She sank to the ground, holding back tears. It was impossible to find him again. Every dumangan she had ever met had done the same disappearing trick, gone, forever beyond reach. Above, the moon hung high. Its silver light dimmed, casting a sorrowful glow across the forest. The air grew still. Then, softly, As if the heavens answered her broken cry, the first raindrops fell, delicate, shimmering, as though the moon itself wept. Normally, she would have flown away in failure, but this time she stayed, gathering her emotions, refusing to surrender. Meanwhile, the dumangan fled, slipping through tree after tree, swift as wind, unseen to all but his kind. Yet doubt gnawed at him. Was this the right choice? Atop a hill, within the hollow of a tree, he paused. These wendigos, as the dragon called them, they are cravenous. They left scars on the forest I am still trying to heal. I dealt with only a few, but even then, his thoughts trailed. He remembered luring them out with patches of the most delicious fruit he could grow. Had he not done so, they would have overrun the forest. A gentle rain interrupted his thoughts. Intrigued, he stepped out of the tree, far from where he had left the dragon. "It's not supposed to rain. The signs are not right," he said under his breath, as fear slowly rescinded, being replaced with awe and curiosity. Looking up, he noticed the clouds were not rain clouds. They must have come from higher up. But there were no clouds that it could have come from. Puzzled, he held out his hand and waited for a droplet to land. As he waited, he absorbed the forest's response. After a moment, he felt a feeling of sadness, gratitude, and a desire to help. The land seems to know something he missed. As he inspected the droplet that landed in his palm, he noticed it was not like any other droplet. This one had very faint specks reflecting the faint silver moonlight that slowly disappeared as the droplet spread. The rain that fell wasn't like any the dumangan had seen before. It was light, almost ethereal, like drops of silver stardust. Each droplet seemed to shimmer with the sorrow of the moon herself, carrying the weight of a lost treasure, a lament from the sky above. With a newfound interest, he looked around at his forest. The leaves had a slight dampness to them. Still confused, he looks up to the sky again. He could clearly see the rain was falling, but still unsure of its origin, as there are no water-bearing clouds in sight. As the clouds drift over, an opening appears, and the moon becomes visible again. As the moon's light cascades down the rain droplets, heavy with the moon's sadness, light up like pure white lightning bugs, turning on and off as they pass through the rays broken by clouds. As the moon's rays pass over the trees and ground, a white film illuminated the contours of everything touched. As he looked out over the landscape, emotions overwhelmed him. Never had he ever dreamt of seeing his land in such majesty. Every contour of the trees stood out in faint contrast. The flowers' clashing colors subtly illuminated and visible in the night. The water flowing into the rivers and pools, the animals' fur, footprints, and bugs of every kind. Every detail stood out in naked vulnerability. "Maybe I misjudged things," he murmured, as if the beauty of the land itself was shifting something inside him. He couldn't deny the sense that he'd let fear drive him too far, but admitting it didn't come easily. As he emerged from a tree to entertain the dragon's desire, he found the dragon had departed. All that remains is the fading luminescence. After taking in what had just transpired, he sat and looked up at the moon, contemplating his behavior. After a few moments, some Vanara emerged from the trees. He had not noticed them either. Twice now he had failed to notice important aspects. Dealing with those wendigos really shook me, he thought. I was expecting a tikbalong. "You fail to see what is around you, God." "Tikbalong got scared like you and ran away. It's probably still running." "Where is that dragon?" "What would you do when you found it?" "I would hear it out and see how to stop those insatiable things." And if you could not find it, what would you do then? I would search for it. How do you search for the wind? There are no footprints, no disturbed branches, not even an upside-down beetle. Only this strange rain remains as proof the dragon was here. What should I do? I allowed my fear to control me when it asked to be heard. I must make this right. Yes, you did. And you shall. This nut, you will grow more of them, lots more, he said, with determination. Opening his hand, the Vanara produced a wrinkly round seed, just larger than lychee fruit. I've never seen a seed like this before. Where did you get this? From the pretty dragon. Funny thoughts pretty dragon has. They continued rolling on the ground, laughing, and pretending to drop excrement and running, covering their nose, just to fall and do it all over again with greater enthusiasm. Now, fully curious and confused by the riddle the young so jubilantly sang, Dumangan tastes the seed and smacks his lips together repeatedly. The fruit is quite bitter. How will anything want to eat this? Maybe an elephant, but there are none here. This is only the first step. The hardest lesson is accepting that the path ahead is not of certainty. You may not see it now, but this seed, this task, is part of a greater cycle. How much more? Lots more. As Dumangan contemplated the wisdom, the younger Vanara suddenly appeared next to Dumangan, mimicking Dumangan's serious posture, attempting to sit like an old sage, then burst into laughter, rolling on the ground. 3 times! 3 times! I should have stayed. Maybe I should have asked for something in return. He wasn't sure if he was ready to trust, but something in his gut told him there was more to this than just another trap. He wasn't sure if he was ready to believe it, but at least for now, he'd listen. Now you're starting to sound like those humans who always want some kind of payment. Have a few bad experiences changed you? I have no other options. How am I to free my kin? We know of your kin's situation. Pretty dragon is helping. Need more, more, more. I asked the moon dragon to search for more of your kind and free them, and in return, we would grow as much of these walnuts as we can. She said she would make an attempt. A few she has seen, but none recently. I explained she should look for a human who is kept away from all trees. Then she left. But how will she keep her word? That's human thinking. What's that? Nothing. You're acting more and more like these humans. Dumangan, now fully focused on the seed, began to pour his power into it, and it began to sprout. As it grew past 3 meters, Dumangan realized it was going to be one of the biggest trees he had ever seen. He arose and walked to the center of the clearing, knelt and prepared a hole to receive the roots. He gently placed the sapling and pulled some dirt around the trunk. I hope this will be a large enough space for you to grow. More and more human.